Hello and welcome to WTF, where we help you transform food in your kitchen. I'm Janie.
I'm Roman.
And on this channel, we talk about unique ingredients, techniques, and show you new recipes for your kitchen. Now today, we are showing you a new recipe on how to make an ube pineapple custard bun. The reason why we made this recipe is because it's colorful, it's delicious, and Roman's going to share with you a special trick on how do you keep that custard from melting out of the bun.
Yes.
Now we're going to jump straight into the demo because this is a multi-step process and we want to make sure you see every single one.
Yes.
So Roman, take it away.
All right, let's do this. So I got my ingredients right here and we're going to get right on it. So we'll start by putting some of our room temperature water into our stand mixer, followed by some yeast. This is a dry active yeast. And we'll give that just a little stir. All right, now we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil and some milk.
Cool.
Room temperature milk, by the way, too. Okay. In the meantime, we'll get our dry ingredients together. So we have our all-purpose flour, ube powder.
I love the color of
This,
ube.
yeah, it's so bright. I mean,
It's
look
so
at that
pretty.
bun, it's beautiful. Our baking powder and our sugar. All right, and then we'll just mix that up, get that incorporated as we wait for our yeast to bloom. All right, so now that our yeast is bloomed out and ready to go, we're just gonna add in our dry ingredients. We're gonna use a dough hook for this task, and we're gonna set it to a medium speed. And that should go for about 7 to 8 minutes. What you're looking for is that dough to start to come off the sides of the bowl, and then you'll know you're ready. We'll take it out, and then we'll continue on. So after your dough is formed, you need to let it rest for 1 hour, punch it down, and then let it rest for an additional hour. This has been resting for 1 hour, so we're going to punch it down right now. This is actually pretty fun.
All right, and why are we punching down the dough?
We're punching down the dough because we want to get the excess air out of it so that when it rises again, it rises even higher.
Great.
All right, so that's punched down. We're going to wrap that guy back up. And we're going to let it rest for an additional hour.
Roman's going to walk us through how to make this delicious pineapple custard, but first I want to remind you to subscribe and ring the bell and hit the notification button because we need the algorithm to know that you want to see more content like these fun ube custard buns.
Yes.
And also remember to comment because that lets us know what we should work on next.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So what is going into this pineapple custard right here?
All right, so we got your ingredients for the pineapple custard. We got pineapple juice, we got melted butter, we got eggs, we got the 2 hydrocolloids, Gellan LT100, and then we have a little bit of sugar, and then we have a little bit of salt. All right.
Citric acid.
Citric acid, sorry. Citric acid. All right, let's go.
We are having trouble talking.
There's a little bit of trouble today, but we'll get it together.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. All right, so let's start. We'll start by adding our pineapple juice.
Okay, and as you're kind of doing this, so one of the things that I love about pineapple juice, I love that it's fresh. This is freshly extracted pineapple juice.
All right.
But sometimes pineapple juice is too sweet, right?
Yeah.
It's got that like cloying, sticky sweetness.
Exactly.
And we didn't want that in this bun. Can you talk about what you did to kind of fix that little taste issue?
Well, what I did was I used one of the methods that we've done here on the channel before when we did our drinks with Dave from Rebel. I used a little bit of citric acid to adjust this. So it's not a lot. We're not looking for a similar citric taste as a lemon, just a little bit less, but something that'll make it pop. So when you're eating the bun, you get that pineapple custardy flavor, but it's like a pop in your mouth. So it's really awesome.
Can't wait to try it.
All right. So while this is running, you want to make sure you have a nice vortex. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the hydrocolloids together, the sugar, and the citric acid. And I'm going to give it a little mix. This will make it easier to disperse into the pineapple juice.
And why are we adding the 2 gelatin to this?
Because what we're looking for are 2 different kind of ideas here. We want to thicken it up a little bit, but we also want to keep the custard from seeping into the bun. When you're cooking a bun, when you're steaming the bun per se, it starts to, it starts to envelop with air. And what happens is if there's any kind of liquid in the middle of it, it starts to seep into the bun. The hydrocolloids will keep that from happening and keep it at the center, as you can actually see there. All right, so now that we got that together, we're just gonna slowly, you don't wanna throw it all in together because it'll clump. So we'll slowly add that in. I'll turn it up a little bit actually, get that really going. All right, I'm gonna add the melted butter. And the 2 egg yolks. Now I'm going to shut this down just for a second, and I'm going to scrape the sides down to get everything back into the blender bowl, and then we'll turn that back on. And we just want to mix this up for probably another minute, 2 minutes, just to make sure that everything's incorporated. All right, now that that's mixed up for a good amount of time, we're going to get that into our pan, and we're going to turn this up to about 180, 185. And what you want to do is you want to constantly stir this as it's warming up.
Okay.
Because if you don't, what will happen is as those hydrocolloids start to work, they'll start to clump. And so you want to mix it up to evenly disperse it, just to make sure that when you're when it's starting to thicken up, it's fluffy and it's not dense in one spot. So we'll just continually stir this while it's heating up.
Okay. What's the purpose of heating the custard base?
You need to activate those hydrocolloids. And you want to make sure that you're at 185 because that's the temperature that the Gellan and the LT100 activate. Plus another note, you don't want to go up too high because if the heat is too high, those eggs are going to start to scramble, and you definitely want to avoid that.
No, we don't want that.
All right, this will start to set very quickly. So as soon as I'm done stirring here, I'm gonna go right into the silicone.
Okay,
like,
awesome.
As soon as I can. So look at that, nice and smooth.
I'm assuming this is too hot to use. We're gonna have to let this cool as well.
Yeah, this is gonna have to go into the refrigerator for up to from 2 hours to you can overnight, but you definitely want to have it in the fridge for at least 2 hours, and it'll set. Actually sets rather quickly. So we'll get this into the fridge, and then we'll get our buns out, and then form those, and then we'll stuff them. Okay, now that our dough has rested for the allotted amount of time, we're gonna portion it up, and then we're gonna get it into our containers so that we can let it rest and proof, so that we can stuff them with the custard. All right.
That dough is so pretty.
It is beautiful. All right. So I usually cut about, for this recipe, 40 to 45 gram. Oh, right on.
Spot on.
Spot on. 40, 45 gram balls. And that's sufficient for about 12 to 16 buns at this recipe. All right, so now that we balled those up, we're just gonna let these proof for about, I would just say 15 to 20 minutes. You kind of just want them to double in size. They will very quickly, and as soon as those are, we'll get our custards out because they've rested long enough, and then we'll stuff them, steam them, and you get a look at what that looks like.
All right.
Our buns are just about ready to start rolling out. They've risen to where exactly we want them, so we're just gonna go right ahead and stretch these out just a little bit. We got a little dough roller to help us out. And so you just kind of want to roll it out about 1/4 of an inch. What you're looking to also do is when you're doing these buns is you want to taper down the sides of it, right? And keep the center of it a little bit higher because when you start to fold it in and pinch it all together, you don't want there to be less space because that'll blow right through it when you're steaming it. All right, so got it about right where we want it. I'm gonna still stretch it out a little bit more with my hands. I'm gonna get one of these in here, and then you just kind of want to pinch. It's like Play-Doh, this thing. It's really nice though.
Yeah, I like that you're able with this technique to put like a really good amount of custard in there.
Exactly, and that's the main reason to use the hydrocolloids to gel them up too. And it's not just to keep them from seeping in. The LT and the Gellan F, they play a huge part in keeping this thing really, really nice. All right, so now that you have that rolled up, that's the seam side down. You want to put that. I'm going to just give that a pinch right there. And then you want to put that down on your piece of parchment paper, and that's going to go into your basket, and you're going to let that, I would let that rest and about 20, 25 minutes until that's ready to turn on and ready to go. But I'm going to finish rolling the rest of these out, getting them in our steamer basket, and then once those are ready to be steamed, we'll come right back to you and you'll get to see how they come out. Okay, now that our buns are ready to be steamed, we are going to steam them actually for 11 minutes, and we're going to start from cold water.
Okay, why are we starting from cold water?
The main reason why you want to start with cold water is because you don't want these to expand too quickly. If they do, the custard has a tendency to pop right on the top of it. So we're going to start it cold. It'll slowly come out, and you won't have the custard all over the place.
All right, great tip. We'll be right back.
All right, our steam buns are done. We steamed these for 11 minutes from cold, and we let them rest an additional 5 more minutes before unveiling.
Okay, why do we do that?
We do that to keep the skins from wrinkling up. If you take it off too early, that atmospheric pressure changes too quickly, and the skins shrink up, and then you get this really not great looking steam bun.
Okay, moment of truth.
All right, here we go. Let's see how this looks. And there we go.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay, let's take that out.
All right, I'm gonna put these down here.
Oh, this looks gorgeous. Look at this, like, beautiful
It's beautiful.
purple
Look how bright it
color.
is, super sheeny. Like,
Okay.
and the most important thing is there is no custard anywhere else but inside of the buns.
Okay, well,
Huge deal.
we got to break into this.
All right, so let's get the. I'm gonna take this off. Seal.
Very nice, very nice.
All right.
Wow. Okay, so I've always loved a good bun my whole life.
Me
you know,
too.
being from China, I've eaten like 1,000 buns. So, but I love these. Let's check them out.
That does look nice.
I didn't even get to the custard yet, but the bun is like perfect.
It is perfect.
It's light, it's fluffy, sticking to my teeth.
Me too.
As
As
it
it's
should be.
supposed to be.
Yep, it's like just slightly sweet. It's got
Yep.
the ube like earthiness, like a little bit of rootiness, but it's like it's really, really nice. All right,
And
I need to get some. Of
I
this
got to the
custard.
custard, and the custard is awesome. It's very custardy,
look at this.
but the citric acid definitely gave it like a nice little pop. That is really good. That came out great.
This is the best pineapple custard I've ever had.
I think that the adjusting the acid of it is what gives it like that really big
You
pop
can use
that
it
you
in a
get.
tart too, but
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I love the color contrast. I love the flavors of it. Get the links, get the recipe in the
Wow.
links in the description below. And until next week, from here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie.
I'm Roman.
Hello and welcome to WTF, where we help you transform food in your kitchen. Oh, I forgot to say my name. I'm gonna restart. I was like waiting for you to say your name, and I was like, pause. I was like, oh wait, no, I go first.